Just a century ago, a possibility that the heir to the throne could marry a common girl to be his wife instead of an aristocrat or a princess would be unthinkable. Now I think the opposite seems a bit strange. We are so used to two commoners becoming queens. And today I'll present you a few stories from European courts, from commoners to queens. Let's jump into it. Hi, my name is Anna and welcome to On Royals. To support my channel, please subscribe and I will deliver you more royal stories. The pioneer in this topic is Queen Sonja of Norway. Born in 1937 as Sonja Haraldsen in Oslo, she's a daughter of a fabric merchant. She trained to be a tailor in Oslo and later attended a girls' school in Lausanne. And she was in fact educated as a tailor, though she continued her education at the University of Oslo in English, French and art history. Sonja met Harald, then heir to the Norwegian throne, in June 1959, and after 2 months, Harald invited her to his graduation ball. And you know what they say, the rest is history. In this case, 9 years long history. It took them 9 years from when they first met to become husband and wife. The relationship was unofficial and often hidden from public scrutiny because it was very much controversial. It wasn't a common thing for a Norwegian heir to the throne to marry a commoner. The previous royal wives were princesses from European courts. After several years, Harald said that he will marry Sonja or no one ever, and the line of succession will be threatened. King Olav then said, okay, you can marry her. So they married in 1987 in Oslo Cathedral, and Harald later on inherited the throne in 1991. The couple has 2 children. Sonja is an artist at heart and she really enjoys art in all forms. Apart from her trying her own artistic projects, she is a great supporter to Norwegian art, from paintings, music, audiovisuals, but also she has her own art gallery. And of course, as a Norwegian person, she loves to spend time outdoors. The newest addition to the group of commoners turning queens is Mary from Denmark. But actually, I already did 2 episodes about Mary, so feel free to jump over there after this very episode. One is about Mary, where she comes from. She is an Australian who married Danish Prince, now King Frederick X. You can find 2 episodes about her on my channel and I highly encourage you to go there after watching this very episode and learn a bit more about herself, but also their love story. Máxima from the Netherlands, or actually Máxima from Argentina. Máxima was born in 1971 in Buenos Aires in Argentina. She is a daughter of Sonja Zorreguieta, a former minister of agriculture during the regime of Argentine dictator Jorge Videla. Her family's background was a significant issue before her marriage to the Dutch heir to the throne due to the dictatorship's nature in Argentina. She studied economics in Buenos Aires at the Catholic University of Buenos Aires. And the fun fact is that during her time at the university, one of the person who ran the school was now Pope Francesco. Later, she finished her master's degree in United States, and after graduation, she started job at HSBC Bank in New York. She quickly climbed the career ladder and even became a vice president for emerging markets. Later on, she worked in Deutsche Bank in Brussels. She met Willem-Alexander, the heir to the throne of the Netherlands, in 1999 in Sevilla, in Spain. I've heard that firstly, she did not believe him that he's a prince, and only after a few months she actually acknowledged that she is dating a prince. They got engaged in 2001 and got married in February 2002. Her parents weren't present at the ceremony because of the controversies. Máxima actively engages in immigrant integration, especially women integration into the Dutch society, and equality initiatives. She also serves as a UN advocate for inclusive finance for development. Let's transfer to Spain, Queen Letizia of Spain. She was born in 1972 in Oviedo in Asturias province in Spain. She comes from a regular middle-class family. Her father was a journalist and mother a nurse. Pursuing family tradition, she studied journalism in Madrid, and firstly she was working in a local newspaper and later on in national media. She also moved to Mexico after her graduation for her PhD. She hasn't finished, and pursuing the journalistic career, she moved back to Madrid where she was correspondent for Bloomberg and later on CNN. After that, she climbed the career ladder in Spanish TV to the point when she was an anchor in the biggest TV news program in Spain. In 1998, she married her boyfriend of 10 years, but they actually divorced just after 1 year. A few years later, in 2002, she met then heir to the throne, Felipe. And it went quite quick because the next year, in November 2003, they got engaged and got married in 2004. They have 2 daughters. Letizia, with her background in journalism, had no difficulties finding herself in the new role, and she supported her husband since their marriage for 20 years now, actually. They traveled, for example, all around the world to promote Spanish interests. And in 2014, Juan Carlos, a king of Spain, abdicated and the throne was passed to Felipe, and since then she is the Queen of Spain. Let's travel back to the Nordics, Queen Silvia of Sweden. She is actually the only one among them all who haven't married a prince but a king. Silvia was born in 1943 in Heidelberg in Germany. Her father is German and her mother is Brazilian. So she is half German and half Brazilian. Her father, Walter, had a somewhat mysterious past, and back in the days, many claimed that he was somehow involved with a Nazi party in Germany, but the newest documents shows that actually he was involved in the resistance and helping some Jewish families. Silvia decided to make a career in translation, and because she spoke already Portuguese and German, she managed to learn Spanish, French, English, and Swedish quite quickly. And because of her love to languages, she actually met a prince of Sweden. And it was during Olympic Games in Munich in 1972. She was back then a hostess and translator. And yes, she met Carl Gustaf of Sweden. Back then, he was only a prince, but a year later, he became a king. And because of his becoming a king, he wasn't obliged to ask a king, someone else, for permission to marry Silvia. And they actually married in 1976 in Stockholm. And a fun fact, ABBA dedicated her the song, a hit, actually, a song, Dancing Queen. So yeah, you can think about Queen Silvia every time you sing or dance to Dancing Queen. The couple has 3 children, one of them being Victoria. About her you can listen in the previous episode. When it comes to causes, Queen Silvia is very much involved in. Those are children, teenagers, and people with disabilities. So from commoner to queen, we have different stories, and we have pioneers as Sonja and Silvia back in 60s, 70s, when it was quite yet unthinkable to marry someone that wouldn't be of aristocrats or from royal peerage. And actually you can also see that there is a big group that married around the beginning of 21st century, like Mary, like Letizia, like Máxima, who married into royal families when it was quite normal and quite, I would say, acknowledged that they can do so. Those 3 queens, Máxima, Letizia and Mary, are quite liked in their countries, and they brought a lot of freshness into those royal families. 3 of them, they had their careers before joining royal families, and because of this, they can also bring their experiences from the market into the royal families, and be more involved in some initiatives and link to the people a bit better, because they actually worked in offices or somewhere during their lives, not only being princesses. What links them together is also a sense of fashion, and even though they have quite different sense of fashion, Letizia is very much high street, Spanish brands. Máxima is more theatrical. She's not afraid of colors, she's not afraid of different shapes. So it's quite interesting. And we have Mary, who is a classic, elegant, sleek look, and they are icons in their own categories. Let me know if I should dedicate one whole episode for maybe one of those queens. I did so with Mary, but maybe Letizia, Máxima interests you the most. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Remember to subscribe if you haven't yet, and if you stayed so long with me. Thanks a lot, and see you next time. Bye bye.